Hi, this is Mrs. Show. Today we're going to learn how to determine what makes a random sample valid and use data to draw inferences. So please take out your notebook and title your notes Valid Samples. You also need to pull up your calculator, so pause the video now while you get your paper, pencil, and calculator out. Once you have those materials, hit play. All right, now that you have your materials out, I want to review how to solve a proportion. Here we have a proportion. Remember, the way you solve it is to cross multiply. You take 95 times x and 12 times 10 to get 120. Then you divide both sides by 95 because it says 95x. When I take 120 and divide by 95, I get a 1.2631 and more numbers. If I was rounding to the tenths, this digit 2 is in the tenths. If I look to the right, the 6 tells me to go up, so this would be a 1.3. All right, so when conducting a survey or poll, you must be sure to ask enough people to represent the population. Ask a varied amount of people. People of different backgrounds, different genders, different economic levels, different interests, different educational backgrounds, and different ages if possible. Always ask people the same questions so your results will be valid. All right, so we're going to look at this first one. I want you to put a number 1 on your paper and put A, B, C, or D. It says the student council has been asked to conduct a survey of the student body to determine the students' lunch preferences. They have determined 3 ways to do the survey. The 3 methods are listed below. Which survey option should the student council use and why? A is assign a number to each student in the school and use a random generator to select 30 numbers from this list. Have students associated with the selected numbers complete the survey. Part B, have the first 30 students that enter the cafeteria complete the survey. Part C, ask the basketball team. Which option would be the best to use to get a random sample? All right, so I think the answer is A, because you're randomly picking, even the word random is there. You're randomly picking people, okay, to select 30 numbers from the list to get a random sample. If you just click the basketball team, okay, they may have their same favorite lunch. Maybe it's pizza that they eat all the time. If you just pick the first 30 students that enter the cafeteria, maybe they all come from the same class. Maybe they all have German class and they like German food. They're going to pick some kind of German food. So to get a random sample, it would be A. All right, let's look at number 2. The cafeteria will be serving only pizza on the last day of school. A survey is completed by 5 girls in German class to change the lunch menu on the last day. Do you think it is a valid sampling if we pick 5 girls from the German class? Put yes or no. All right, I think it's no, because first of all, you're only picking girls, you're not picking any boys. They all come from German class, so maybe they all like German food and they really don't like pizza. You haven't asked enough people, you've only asked girls, and they're all from the German class, so I would say no. All right, put a number 3. Pick A, B, C, or D. Mrs. Boroff would like to know students' favorite candy. She cannot ask everyone in the whole school, so she would like to conduct a survey using a random sampling to find out the answer. Which would be the best representation of the student body? A, the first 20 students who walk in the building. B, randomly picking 2 students from all second period classes. C, 5th period girls PE class. D, the chess club members. Put A, B, C, or D on your paper. the answer is B. Okay, because you're randomly picking two people from all of the second period classes, not just German class or PE class, all of the classes. So everyone has a chance to be picked. You will have boys, you will have girls, you will have seventh graders, you will have eighth graders. Okay, I wouldn't pick the first 20 students who walk in the building because they might have something in common. Maybe their bus got here first. They all ride the same bus. They have their favorite candy in common, maybe because the bus driver gives them that candy. You don't want to pick C because they're only girls and they're all from the same class. And you don't want to pick D because the chess club members may have something in common. Maybe they eat the same kind of candy in chess club and they would all pick that candy. It's not a fair representation. All right, put a number 4. Put A, B, C. Which one do you pick? Our principal, Mr. Ashcraft, would like to know if students would like to eat lunch outside on nice days. To find out the answer, he will not ask the entire school. Which would be the best representation of the opinion of the school? A, the last 30 students to exit the building. B, the soccer team. C, picking every 4 student who enters the building. Please put an A, B, or C on your paper. All right, the answer is C. If you pick every 4 student who enters the building, everyone has a chance to be picked. You're going to get boys, you're going to get girls, you're going to get 7th graders, you're going to get 8th graders. Soccer team, they all have something in common. Maybe they enjoy being outside because they're outside when they play soccer, or maybe they don't want to be outside because they're tired of being outside for soccer. The last 30 students to exit the building may have something in common also. Maybe their class was the furthest away from exiting the building and they all are in Spanish class, okay? Or they were all in gym class and they're the last ones out and they were just outside in gym, they didn't want to go outside anymore. All right, put a number 5. A local politician would like to know what voters will support. He sends out a postcard survey to various addresses as a random sample. What would be the best representation of the local community? A, 30 apartments only. B, 20 apartments, 20 houses, 20 condominiums in the neighborhood. Or C, 5 businesses in the area. I believe the answer is B, because you're getting people who live in apartments, houses, and condominiums. Okay, if you just pick people who live in apartments, part A, they may favor one way or another. 5 businesses, that's just not a lot of people to ask, plus they're businesses. They're not really people who live in the community. All right, try number 6. Peter created a survey to determine how many people in his town maintain a flower garden. Choose the survey methods. That means you can choose more than one this time. That would result in a valid random sample. So now you could put more than one answer. A, asking everyone in his apartment building. B, asking people who come to the gardening store. C, asking 100 random people on the street. D, calling the first name on each page of the phone book. E, asking everyone in his extended family. You're going to have more than one answer. Okay, I do not think it's A, because everyone in his apartment building may have the same opinion. Maybe they already have a flower garden. Okay, maybe they don't have room for it. They may have the same opinion because they live in the same apartment building. If you ask people who come to the gardening store, that means they like gardens. I wouldn't pick them. They're all going to say, yes, we should have a flower garden. Asking 100 random people, that is a good idea because they're random. You're going to get old people, young people, men, women, all different types of people living in different places. Calling the first name on the phone book. Yes, that's random. And asking everyone is extended family. Man, nope, because that's not a lot of people. Plus, they're all in the same family, so they may have the same opinion about Flower Garden. All right, go to number 7. In statistics, random samples are used to draw conclusions about large populations. Which random sampling method will provide the best data from which to draw a valid conclusion about how many people in a given neighborhood run more than 4 miles per week? Okay, so you're picking one. A, asking 50 people that are running on a Saturday morning. B, asking 30 runners to track their distances for a month. C, asking 75 people who pass by a neighborhood street corner. D, asking 100 people at the gym. There's one answer. Pick the one that's random. All right. I would not pick A or B because these people already run. So they're going to have good opinions about running. I would also not pick D because they all go to the gym. So they're probably going to be in favor of running. I would pick C, that is random, just picking 75 random people walking by. All right, so now let's go to number 8. Put a number 8 on your paper. Lily works at a department store and creates a survey to determine how sales affect their businesses. Choose the survey methods, that means there could be more than one, that would result in a valid random sample of the community. A, asking the staff if they see increased business during sales. B, stopping everyone who passes by a given street corner downtown. C, asking people who shop at a competing store. D, asking all of the customers who come in between 10 and 11. E, calling every 200th name in the phone book. Okay, so since the survey is about how sales affect their business, which would give me a random sample? Well, definitely calling every 200th name in the phone book, so definitely E. I wouldn't ask the staff because they may say, oh yeah, well, it does, just because that's their job. Part B, people passing by the street corner, that would be random. Part C, if they shop at a different store, they're not going to probably like the store you're asking about, so I would say no. And if customers come in between 10 and 11, they may have something in common. Maybe they're senior citizens and they're not at their job, so they may have a common answer to that. They may have something in common. So I think B and E are the best choices. All right, look at number 9. Mrs. Kim decides that she is going to survey the class to determine if they feel ready for the upcoming math test. Choose the survey method that would result in a valid random sample, and it could be more than one. A, survey the first 10 students that walk into the classroom. Survey part B, survey every third student that walks into the classroom. Part C, survey the students with the highest average in the class. Part D, write all the students' names on slips of paper and choose 10. Part E, survey all of the girls in the classroom. I think there are 2. Okay, let's see if you got them right. Every third student is random. Okay, so you get people who come into class soon, you get people who come into class late, you get a variety of people, you get boys and girls. Also, if you write all of the students' names on slips of paper and choose 10, everybody has a chance of being drawn. You get boys, girls, you get a variety of people. Okay? All right, look at number 10. In statistics, random samples are used to draw conclusions about large populations. Which random sampling method will provide the best data from which to draw a valid conclusion about the percentage of people in a given city who eat a vegetarian diet. A, polling 30 people at the health food store. B, asking 5 restaurants to track their vegetarian orders. C, surveying 200 people from the city selected at random from the phone book. D, asking 80 friends who live in the city. There is one answer. And the answer is C. You're picking 200 people from all over the city randomly. All right, put a number 11 on your paper. All right, on number 11, it says the data from 4 random samples of 400 students regarding their lunch preferences are given below. How might the cafeteria use this information to plan their meals? Well, they could look at this information and decide, how much do we need to order from salad, pizza, and tacos? What do students eat the most? What are they going to prefer? If there are 1,130 students at the Southport Middle School, how many pizzas should the cafeteria have ready on a daily basis? Okay, so there were 231 people who picked pizza out of the 4 lunch groups. I want to know how many out of 1,130 students would prefer pizza. Okay, so I'm going to set up a proportion. I want you to do this on your paper with me. The question's asking sample out of 400, because they didn't ask everybody what they picked. They just randomly sampled 400 students to see their preference. So on your paper, you're going to do this. You're going to say 231 out of 400 pick pizza. How many out of 1,130 would pick pizza? So we set up a proportion. Let's cross multiply. Take your calculator. Let me see. 231 times 1,130. Looks like that's 261,030. If I go the other way, I get 400x. I'm going to divide both sides by 400. So in your calculator, you're taking 261,030 and dividing by 400. Okay, now we're not getting a whole number, we're going to round. So we're getting 652.575. So if I round that to a whole number, it'd be 653. Yes. All right, I want you to try this one. All right, put a number 12. Same data, but now the question is, if there are 1,130 students at the school, how many tacos should the cafeteria have ready? Okay, so you're going to set up a proportion on your paper. Okay, look at how many tacos were chosen out of 400. So your first fraction should be 104 out of 400 people chose tacos. I want to know how many out of 1,130 that would be. So put X here and 1,130 here. Okay, go ahead and pause the video and cross multiply. When you get done with your answer, hit play to check your answer. All right, now that you're done, see if you got 117,520 one way and 400x the other way. Then you're dividing both sides by 500, or 400. So I'm going to take that and divide by 400. All right, looks like we get 293.8. So if we round that, it'd be about 294 students. All right, put a number 13. A survey is taken at Southport Park about adding a new curly slide to the playground. These are the results. 256 said yes, 44 people said no. The city of Southport has 12,245 residents. If the survey is a good representation of the city, how many residents would have said yes if you could ask everyone? How many would have said yes? Okay, so we're going to set up a proportion. Do this on your paper with me. First, the survey, how many people in the survey said yes? 256. How many total people were surveyed? Does it tell us anywhere? I know 12,245 residents are in the city of Southport, but how many were in that survey? Now you've got to add 256 and 44, so it's a total of 300. If I add how many said yes plus how many said no, it'd be out of 300. So I want to know how many out of 12,245 that would be. So I put X over 12,245. Okay, pause the video, cross multiply. When you get done, hit play to check your answer. Pause now. All right, now that you're done, when you cross multiply, see if you got 3,134,720 equals 300x. Then you're going to divide both sides by 300. So when we divide by 300, okay, we're going to have to round again. We have 10,449.0. So this would be about 10,449. See if you got 10,449. Okay, we have one more question. Put a number 14 on your paper. I want you to try this one on your own. A survey is taken at Southport Middle School to determine when is the best time to have a new advisory class next year. Based on the results below, approximately how many students at Southport Middle School would prefer to have the advisory class before first period if there are 1,160 students in attendance? Okay, one hint here. Find out how many total were in the survey. So first thing you need to do is take 21 plus 13 plus 8 to see how many are surveyed. Okay, pause the video now. Solve this problem. When you get done, hit play. All right, now that you're done, you're going to set up a proportion. And I know when I added here, I got 42. 42 people were surveyed. They're asking me about before first period. So they want to know how many people want to have it before first period. So 21 out of 42 wanted their class before first period. I want to know how many out of 1,160 that would be. So I'm going to cross multiply this way. Take 21 times 1,160. I'm going to get 24,360. The other way, I would get 42x. Divide both sides by 42. So when I divide by 42, I get 580. See if you got 580 for that one. All right, so give me a 1, 2, or 3. 1, you're lost. 2, you need some practice. 3, you got it. All right, first thing you're going to do is take your quiz in Canvas. Please go to Canvas and take your quiz. When you are finished, work on any missing assignments you have in Skyward or Big Ideas. Have a good day.